What's up? I'm back. In this segment, I'm going to talk about a topic most people wouldn't expect me to talk about. A little late. This probably would have been good, but 2 weeks ago was hot. 2 weeks ago, the concept of Tidal. Now, you know, for me, music streaming, it's already here. When I remember when I saw the press conference, I thought it was a little much. I mean, I respected. I respected the fact that artists want to take back control of their product, which obviously this is a channel for the arts. So I'm all for that, to be honest, right? But I do think, first off, it's a little pricey. It's $20 versus its competitors, which is about half the price. So, naturally when I look at it, I'm neutral. I really don't really care. I mean, it's cool that the artists want to take back their power. I would have liked to see on the stage because most people know this is Jay-Z's primary company. He presented other artists there as well. I would have liked to see some independent artists or artists that are not already rich per se, right? Then I would have been like, all right, wow, like this is something revolutionary, right? Because it's kind of like me. It's kind of anyone buying into Netflix now. Buying into Netflix now, just like just a regular public company. Right. It's revolutionary. It is, but it's more revolutionary in terms of when you look at it from the arts per se. When you look at the perspective that documentaries, independent movies could get access to that, so it's revolutionary from that perspective. But once it blows up to a certain level and it crosses over, the time to have got into it was when it first began. Right now, with Tidal, everyone there is already rich. I don't really see any independent artists. So for me, and the price is a bit much. I think that when you're the new kid in the block, this is what I don't like. When you're the new kid, it's like, because look at what Netflix did. When Netflix came out, why do so many people like Netflix? Because it's $8. Even when people complain about, I don't want to pay for TV. If you pay for cable, you can pay for Netflix, to be honest. There's some people who don't have cable anymore because of Netflix, right? But what they do, it was $8. It could be 10 now or something like that, but it was $8 at the time, right? So it was revolutionary in the sense that it gave you a great product for the cheap price, right? That's like me saying, hey, I want to do own publishing. I have my own comic book company or public or ebook company, right? And I'm charging the same prices as the established competition. When you're the new kid in the block, not only do you have to come cheaper, you have to come cheaper and you have to come better. And Tidal, it's not really a better product than its competitors, in my opinion. It's not better. I don't think it's terrible, but it's not better. So it's not better, and it's more expensive. So for me, to me, it's kind of more like I'll pass. Now, normally by itself, I wouldn't even make a video about it, right? But I noticed that it was a lot of hate, and it's interesting because the hated guy was interesting because the people who own it, right? I heard some people talk about the Illuminati and the this and that, and it was interesting because I do think see, this is what happens when you see someone in the middle like me who's neutral, who doesn't really care either way. When you see people throw pure venom at things, then sometimes it forces us to go over to the side that we don't want to, just to make it balanced, and that's exactly what happened. I think that the hate was coming on two different angles, though. I think when you come from the hip-hop world, right, you have that hate where, people in hip-hop, there's certain people who love Jay-Z who hate him because he's successful, and for some, that might be seen as a sellout. I mean, whatever you think about that, that's just how people perceive it. Now, whether I think that's true or not doesn't really make a difference per se. I do think, though, that I would never hate in a product because I hate the person or because I'm jealous of the person's success. And I think that's part of it, in a sense. When the haters come from the hip-hop world, yes, this part of it is the fact that, if you're going to talk about the product and hate on the product, if you're going to hate on Tidal, hate on Spoof, hate on its competitors, to be honest, right? You just say, I hate all music streaming. And I think part of it, like now when you're talking about the establishment, though, like, because you have two different hates. You have the hates of when you look up media sources. Yeah, they were hating too. But when you look at that, now that's different. That's going to be natural because anytime you're coming with something new that could change things. And listen, when I say change things, like I thought the press conference was ridiculous. To see them all signing it like they're signing some Declaration of Independence, it's insane, right? They're, like, and Alicia Keys quoting certain people who she shouldn't even be quoting. I think that was ridiculous, right? So they gave people ammunition to hate on them. But I do think there is some truth, and sometimes people, even artists themselves have to realize that, like, listen, in this world right now, if you have an art product that you are proud of, that you want to make a living off of, remember this though. The average person right now, we come from the internet age, people don't think they're supposed to pay for anything, right? And I'm not going to even say that's right or wrong. It's just how the way people are, the way they operate. So when they think that people are just going to sign up to Tidal just because they want to see the artists get empowered, I think that's crazy. I think people don't really care about the arts anymore, and that's why the world's so messed up. It's a shame, no question. But people don't really care about the arts anymore. So we come from a society right now that everyone wants to get things for free. Even if you come in and say, yo, this costs $2, people don't want to pay for that, to be honest. So do I think it's going to work? It's probably not going to work, right? Do I think the hate is unjustified? Of course I do. I think from the media aspect, they're just going to hate on music streaming in general, of course. It's new. It is a danger to the record labels, just like ebooks were. Ebook self-publishing was a dagger to book publishers. People don't remember 20 years ago, if you had a book idea, you had to go to a publisher and good luck trying to get them to like it. And even if they liked it, they would force you to change certain things. Amazon ebooks, they came in. That's why I don't hate on Amazon or hate on the Amazon-like companies, because they changed the whole game when it came to ebooks and self-publishing. And I do think music streaming and some digital services on the internet related to music could make a difference, but then YouTube makes a difference all the time. To be honest, I don't think the idea has been out already and is not as revolutionary as they were trying to make it seem. And you can see that because I've heard now that Jay-Z and certain people were calling people thanking them, right? So it's really dependent more on his name and the people who he has as his slaves, basically, signed up to it, and for them to make exclusive products, right? And to have exclusive music, and for people to say, wow, this music is exclusive on Tidal, let me sign up to that. Could happen, but is that going to be enough to change the game? Probably not. I suspect 2 years from now, he will sell it. He bought it for $56 million. It seems they say right now it's worth $250 million. It's kind of worth 5 times more than what he bought it for. It's probably going to do so. Might bottom out at $100 million. He sells it. He doesn't lose any money. He doesn't make any money. 2-3 years goes by. You forget about it. That's what I suspect. But it's unfortunate, though, because I do think, even though I don't love the idea, I do think hating on it just to hate is a little ridiculous. And I actually respect the media for doing it more because they're business people. Business is war. They don't want the competition. They are going to protect the interests of the older hierarchy, right, which is the record labels and just like how the newspapers and CNN were the older hierarchy. They're the older oligarchs of when you compare them to the digital age and blogs and vlogs, making their own news. Well, actually not making their own news, reporting their own news. Some people make their own news, but they're reporting news without that media filter. Of course, they got hated on too. So whenever you're the new person in the game, the establishment and their cronies will hate on you. So when the media hates on them, I expect that. But when people in the hip-hop world hating, not just people in the hip-hop world, just the average fan, just hate to hate, I think it's a little much. And that's a struggle that artists have when even you're legit, because all those people that we're talking about are rich already. You don't feel sorry for them, right? But when the artists come up, it's rough because you have to make money in your product to keep it up, to survive. But then people want everything free, and if you get too big, they're gonna hate on you. So it's almost like that forces you to have to make your product 4 or 5 times better. That's why I respect how Netflix came out, because realistically they came out and they came at $8 and you couldn't ignore it. Right? It was the end of the day where I had people say, I would never pay for that. Everyone I know now has it. So I think, is it justified? Probably not. Is it expected? Yeah. That's just people. People hate, and unfortunately, people don't know why they hate, and that's the sad part. But hope that helps. That's my 2 cents. Nothing really deep about it. Just my 2 cents on the topic. Till next time. Peace.